Jordyn Tyson is at 3 for me from Arizona State. A big slot receiver, primarily, who has that alignment, flexibility, and separation craft. He's long, he's lanky at 6'2", 200 pounds. Versatile in how he can create separation, but he tends to win with his stride efficiency, his discipline through his routes, and just a smidgen of yak creativity to be a complementary receiver is how I saw Jordyn Tyson. You can line him up across the formation due to his height, length, and his movement skills, but I think I would predominantly want him to line up from the slot. He got 31.2% career target rate, though, so he was catching everything in that offense. And his separation comes from his ability to pace his routes, because he's not sudden, he's not twitchy, but his pacing is really strong through his routes, and his stride efficiency is really strong. And I think he's reliable of what you can do with him in structure rather than a after the catch creator. He executes his routes with intent and purpose, his awareness with spacing. He hits his landmarks, knows where he needs to be, and stays on schedule through the plays. Consistency is present through windows where he's able to catch the ball, and he uses that lanky frame to extend beyond his body for some really strong catch point catches. And there's a strong feel for leverage and spacing against both man and zone coverage, where he's able to adjust his stem and his depths. His weaknesses, he is limited in his creativity with the ball in hand. I didn't think his athleticism was particularly sudden in short areas, and he can be disrupted by physical press corners, where his release package I didn't particularly find sudden or violent in any way, and that shows up in his play strength, that he's competitive but not powerful, and he can be knocked off balance. Biggest concern with him, which I'm sure we can touch on here before Stu comes in, is there are major injury concerns with Jordyn Tyson. Is he currently healthy is a question mark. Never mind in terms of him missing time. So he's missed time in every season that he's played college football, and he missed 2023 altogether. So it does really worry me what you're going to get with him. You've got a top 15 talent, but that medical history is going to be the key evaluation and the key variable to his projection. That's why he sits at number 3 for me. But the other two I do think are clear of him in terms of their abilities as a prospect, and teams are going to have to weigh up that upside versus the availability risk, because players who are injured in college very often stay injured in the NFL.
Yeah, Jordyn Tyson, as Owen's covered him pretty well. He's kind of gone quite in depth on him. He's a player who gets open well. He does find separation. He's got a good hands. He is a good run blocker as well. He will put his self out there, which not all top end receivers want to do. He sells that vertical break really well before kind of breaking underneath of when he's operating out of the slot. For the games are kind of tight, he does score a lot of fourth quarter touchdowns, so he does want the ball just kind of when that game gets really tight. But medical flags, massive. 4 seasons of college football, he's missed one completely and he's missed time in another 3. It's not great, and it will put some teams off.
I've got the numbers here. I was fighting for them before, but so in 2022, when he was at Colorado, he only played in 8 games, then transferred and missed the entire 2023
season.
He
injured his knee in 2022.
Missed the playoff run in 2024, and then only played in 9 games this past season.
Yeah, I mean, they're all kind of injuries that are different. He's injured his knee, he's had a collarbone injury, a hamstring injury, but they're mounting up. And I think as well, he's not as physical as he could be with some corners. I think they're able to get their hands on him and disrupt him at the line. Drops, he's had a few drops. We did talk about he has got good hands, but is that through contact that he's had a few drops here and there?
He only had 1 drop this past season on 61
so it has picked up. He isn't lightning fast.
No.
He's not going to wow anybody at the combine if he decides to run, which I don't know if he will. He might wait till his pro day to to run some of these players at that top end, run somewhere they're more comfortable rather than running at the combine. I also have him at 3.
I think it's important to stress here that just how reliable and consistent he is when he is on the field, instead of just ending on a bad side there with his injuries. That I said before, 31.2% career target rate. That leads college football since 2023. So despite missing time, that to be that much of a focal point of your offense and to be trusted that much in terms of the connection you can create with your quarterback, clearly he's a very talented player and a player that is worthy of being taken in the top 15 of this class. Just we think the other two are better, and the red flags are enough to put you off.
I think even without the injuries, would I still have him 3?
No, I would. Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, I would.
Probably,
well.
I would. Yeah. I don't think the injuries is the be all and end all of it. It's not he's injured, he would be one. What was the cornerback from Michigan who fell so much because he was injured, but he was clearly the best cornerback.
Yeah,
a couple of years ago, went to Arizona. Forgotten his name, but yeah, I wouldn't have that with Jordyn Tyson. I don't think he's just fallen because of medicals. I know some people had him as wide receiver 1 earlier on, but I still think the other two are better regardless.
Yeah,